Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, April 30th, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is, I allow what feels harmonious and important to move me. And the thing that came to mind was that quote, I'm going to Mimiize it a little bit, but people are going to take your hand and drag you places saying, this is important, this is important, and this is important. And your job is to take your hand back and say, no, this is important. And this is so important. This meaning heart, this meaning soul energy. Today, we finally have the South Node and Saturn being exactly conjunct. Now, this is so interesting in so many ways to me, the way the universe has this dance played out. So the South Node reminds us of patterns or things that we've done that we want to leave in the past. South Node is the been there, done that. It's like, learn from that, but you need to learn a new pattern. Saturn is our personal responsibility. Saturn is our soul purpose energy. So in order to step into next level soul purpose, next level personal self-responsibility, there may be patterns, behaviors, avoidances even, that we need to leave in the past. Now, it's really interesting because there's definitely a karmic feel to this, and we have the moon in Pisces, and moon in Pisces can bring up that energy. It can connect us to past life stuff. It can connect us to long time lineage issues going on. So it's no surprise to me that the South Node and Saturn finally meet up on this day where we can tune in to these energies on that spiritual, intuitive level so that we can leave these past behaviors behind. The thing we do want to focus on is, what is that soul purpose? What is this thing that is important, that is pulling us, driving us forward? It's always lit inside you, and it's always like, come on, you can do it, you can do it. By the way, speaking of that, I'm doing, it's so funny. I know I'm all over the place right now. I pulled those wild messenger cards. I'm going to read them at the end of this. Uploading a separate video just seems silly. So, by the way, stay till the end for your card. Sorry. That thing that's lit within us is constantly pulling us towards that thing. And yet, we spend so much time in that resistance. Like I said, on that slide, like, hands out, feet out, stuck on the slide, like, I cannot move, I shall not be moved. And the universe is like, oh my God, you would enjoy the trip if you would just pull your hands and arms, back and let yourself flow, let yourself slide. So be very aware. Where are you stopping your progress? Where are you repeating these patterns? Where are you trying to control something because you think you know better than the universe, rather than allow the universe to take your hand and be like, I feel your heart, I feel your soul, let's move this way. This is the direction that you came to walk in. So pay attention to where you may be connecting into those energies and where you may need to get out of your own way. Okay, so moon in Pisces, like I said, moon is making almost all of the connections through the day. We begin the day, I love this, Padma does too. Moon conjunct Neptune, 3:33 a.m. Pacific time. So 333, that's a number of expansion in process, really good things. It's the number of the Trinity. So you can read into that what you will. But this is a reminder of your intuition, of that inherent connection. And spirit will get through to you one way or another, whether it's like anvils dropping on your head, or dreams coming through for you, or situations, pattern situations that keep happening over and over, saying, if you don't want this outcome, you need to shift and do things a little bit different. Pay attention to the signs today. They are trying to help guide you. That being said, Mars and Gemini squaring the moon. You may think you know better. You may think you know different. You may outthink yourself and be like, oh my God, I'm so smart. I love that quote from Rumi. If you could stop your tricks and cleverness, that would be the cleverest trick. You don't have to be smarter than the universe. You don't have to outsmart the universe. You need to learn to work with the universe. You need to get into that place where you're not resisting. Moon then connecting to Saturn, to the South Node. Like I said, karmic situations may pop up. Repeats of patterns may show up today. How can you nurture yourself in a different way? How can you nurture yourself in a way that you are being true to yourself? How can you be the parent to the part of you that may keep, getting stuck in these cycles? Pay attention to how you are showing up. Pay attention to your personal responsibility. There may be an amazing karmic tie that can be broken and released in this energy. Connecting into that too is the moon connecting to Pluto. Pluto is like, hey, you have the power. The power is in your hands. The understanding of the power is in your hands. It's up to you. But you cannot overthink yourself. You cannot think that you know better. Again, another square that we've got going on is Moon square Jupiter. Jupiter is still hanging out in Sagittarius. Jupiter retrograde in Sagittarius. Check your beliefs. Maybe it's a sabotaging belief that's keeping you locked in this pattern. Now, the other thing, the mind is going to be monkey sanctuary, bonobo sanctuary, in fact. Key into that, anybody who picked number 3 for the cards. We have Mercury, which is in Aries, connecting to Mars, which is in Gemini. So these energies are working very strongly together. We've got the go feeling with the Aries and the Mars energy, and then we've got the think, and talk energy going on with the Mercury and the Gemini energies. So the monkeys are running wild. Like the monkeys have engaged flying monkeys at this point. That's how wild they're going. You can use this, if you harness this, to help you break through some of these conditions, to help you break through these patternings. This is not about shoulding, it's about what brings me to harmony. So get past the shoulds and get into the what makes me feel like I'm in a harmonious place. What makes me feel like I'm connected to the universe. Listen to that. Work with that energy and release the shoulds. It's interesting because this is the king and the queen of swords. It's like, be directive with your mind. Here's the intensity card. Direct where your thoughts are going. Direct your monkeys. Your monkeys need some boundaries. It's okay to put boundaries on your monkeys. Everything in the world appreciates boundaries to some degree or another. So, how are you going to reach this harmony? How are you going to work with this place? This is what to key into. South Node conjunct Saturn. This is a big deal. This is potential. Padma keeps chiming in at the right time. This is a potential to break through with something that has been plaguing you for maybe multiple lifetimes. So tune in. What is showing up for you? Okay, let's dig into these cards. So, if you chose card number 1, you can still choose now. Card number 1. I was like, oh my god, this is interesting. Well, it is interesting because card number 1 is card 15. This is the devil card in traditional tarot. This is the card of the trickster, Raven energy. This card is actually ruled by Saturn or Capricorn. So it's just interesting because this is about your work during this Saturn retrograde. So card number 1, the trickster. I'm going to read some of it. I'm not going to read all of it, but oh my god, this deck is amazing. See? Padma agrees. Speaking of the trickster and the devil. Okay, calcination. The invocation for this. I release fear of judgment. Allow my most uninhibited soul self out into the world. Hello, yes, for all of us. Raven, I call upon your brazen energy to boost my courage. I choose now to walk closer to my own edges, expand myself through play, and make joyful noise. I acknowledge all my hidden desires. I know that if I ignore them, they will be expressed in unhelpful ways. Raven, guide my way to healthy exploration of all that I have forbidden from myself. With your help, I release shame. I embrace my truth. I think I'm going to actually post that invocation on Gaia Blooming in the morning, in case you want to say that. Anybody, because that's really good. There's a saying that says, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And sometimes the devils closest to you are also the hardest to see. Raven is here to ask, are you bedeviling yourself? Are you stuck in patterns that are not serving yourself? Are you stuck in patterns that are not important? Patterns of self-sabotage and egoic motivations can easily sneak under the radar of awareness, operating in your subconscious mind. Current research shows that subconscious mind controls up to 95% of our emotions, decisions, and behaviors, meaning that only 5% of those things are approached from conscious state of mind. This is a whole lot of brain power dedicated to nearly invisible and potentially damaging patterns. When Raven flies into your reading, it's calling for more consciousness in your everyday life. Long-held stories, patterns, and coping mechanisms are up for debate. Heck yeah, right? Don't believe everything you think. Put boundaries on your monkeys. Perception informs how you define and find meaning from your experience. Feeling empowered, for example, is much less about what your circumstances actually are and more about how you view your life. You are not being asked to view the world through pink-colored therapy glasses. Turning a blind eye towards so-called negativity does not honor the world's complexity. Ignoring becomes ignorance. And Raven shares that you do have the opportunity to look at ways you may be choosing to see yourself as a victim, offload blame to something or someone external, and remain stuck in envy, jealousy, or disempowering stories about yourself and others. It may be totally true that you've been harmed and that life isn't fair. And how are you going to manage that? Who are you going to be because of all that has or hasn't unfolded? Can you look at the trials and tragedies in your life as some of your best teachers, even if they're extremely painful sources of wisdom? This is a big ask and a lifelong journey. So, am I going to read more? Like, this goes on for pages and it's so amazing, but it's a little bit long. I'm going to read Raven Speaks and one last quote from here. So Raven speaks, "In nature, we're rarely intimidated. Where can this bravery inform and inspire you? Have you found yourself intimidated by others in your field, by your family members?" We talked about that yesterday with Saturn Retrograde. That legacy intimidation, that dynasty intimidation. By your own inner bully. I remind you to trust your own path and instincts rather than looking to someone else's path as a model for your own, or perceiving yourself through someone else's worldview. I am wildly intelligent, Raven, able to complete puzzles and mimic the sounds of other beings. As such, I am a slippery messenger to understand. I often speak in riddles, offering signs and symbols. We're looking for the signs and symbols that defy logic, or maybe they feel so familiar they're hard to interpret as meaningful or real. Nevertheless, if you take the time to decipher and decode what I bring up from your unconscious, I will become your ally. By tracking patterns, signs, and synchronicities over time, you'll know exactly how to expose and interpret messages from your shadows. Holy yes to this. And one more quote from Raven. "Hold fast to your inner truth. This is important. All will become clear as you unpack each little lie, bypass, and judgment you've been taught to convince or convinced to believe." So, we are releasing. Okay, so that is card number 1. Card number 2 is Stingray, Initiate. I believe Initiate is the page. Let's see. Initiate, Page of Water, I believe. Or is it Knight? I think it's the Knight. Okay, so, it's not Stingray, it's Monterey. Initiative Water. Invocation for Monterey. Monterey, I invoke your confident fluidity and unapologetic pursuit of all that you desire. Help me become one with the flow and guide towards what my heart seeks. This is important. Here's that message again. A beacon of light in your darkness. Monterey swims into your cards today to pull your heart in the direction of its longings. You are embarking on a quest for love or spiritual fulfillment. As Monterey flows through the water with little resistance, you are similarly gifted with a time of eloquence and ease of expression, especially when it comes to your emotions and desires. Give words to the seeds of love in your heart. Share your dreams and feelings with those who you can and will aid in manifesting your vision and join you on your journey. Whereas before you may have been in a period of stillness or sacred pause, or stuck on the slide. Motion now pulls you out of inertia. Follow the flow, but do not surrender to it completely. Swim with it, channel it, become the water itself. Monterey travels to cleaning stations to form beneficial pairings with other organisms to help rid itself of parasites. Consider seeking supportive assistance with help or to help clear or clean anything that is currently irritating you. Monterey speaks. When I open my mouth in the ocean, I collect my fill of food from the waters I propel through. So too will your words nourish you if you let your voice escape the box of silence you've built around it. You can listen to the protesting husky outside. How can your quest come to fruition if you don't first deliver your intention and speak what you wish to unfold? My wings can spend more than 23 feet, or 6.9 meters, as I stretch and swim. You have a wider reach than you can imagine. Every word you speak and move you make sends ripples of energy through the collective. Do your actions match your spoken declarations? If so, then your ripple effect will be amplified because of your alignment. My name comes from the Spanish word for cloak, manta. So let my energy cloak you in confident fluidity. As you find your flow, love, partnership, and opportunity will come easily. Manta asks you to be sure that your actions and choices are in line with what your heart wants and what it knows to be right. All right, so that is Monterey, card number 2. And then, speaking of the monkeys, card number 3, Bonobo. That's the 10 of Wands, or the 10 of Fire. Invocation for Bonobo. Dear Bonobo spirit, impart to me your joy for life and generous spirit. Fill my well with selflessness and pleasure so that I may be open and giving with ease and delight. You have successfully channeled your creative and sexual energies to create something magnificent, whether that be family, business, a skill set, a beautiful relationship, a resident home, radiant health, or other ventures. You've overcome many obstacles along the way. It's time to celebrate. The bonobo spirit knows how to party. In nature, this effervescent primate is known for both its sexuality and generosity. Bonobo shares gifts and affection with many, even those outside its core group. No need to judge these behaviors as promiscuous, for bonobo intimacy is just as natural expression of delight to share their love and joy with others. Bonobo has danced into your cards today to encourage you to share generously. Doing this is a way to feed the spirits and assure them that you are creating for the benefit of many beings, not just to feed your own personal life. Find a nonprofit whose mission resonates with your soul or donate funds to someone in need. Consider how you can share intimacy with others, not just physically, but through community, eye contact, emotional connection. In what ways can you embody Bonobo's loving spirit? If possible, begin giving a little of your monthly income to a trustworthy cause, perhaps a bonobo sanctuary or wildlife conservation, or support an organization committed to something that you had to overcome in your life as a way of short-circuiting the learning process you experienced. Philanthropy is one of the fastest ways to move through the plateau phases of growth and continue on the journey of expansion. Bonobo speaks. I am full of life force. I am here to impart to you a spirit of giving for giving's sake. Forgive those who have hurt you in the past and release that toxic energy from your system. Forgiveness is a generous thing to offer and costs you nothing, but affords you relief from the burden of grudges. I think this is part of the karmic releasing and changing these karmic cycles. If you're not ready to forgive, practice self-forgiveness. You've always done your best in all situations of the past, even if you look back with regret. All things will unfold for your betterment, if only you decide to become better. Dance away any residual heaviness and let music unleash your delightful presence. More good things are on the way, because the better it gets, the better it gets. Put generosity first, and even more abundance will follow. So those are the cards. I hope they resonate. I hope they offer you support during this Saturn retrograde. Besides that, you can always book a reading with me. You can always book a reading for cards or astrology or Joe's Psychic Visions. Email me for that, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, what are you thankful for in this moment? Take a second. Receive that gratitude energy. Be grateful for the gratitude energy filling you. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power. Namaste.